Live from the studio of his parents' basement, the Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Krause. But before we begin, if you guys can please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. So with that said, Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Well, Mason, I am excited. It's the spoopy season. We know that. And a much anticipated film for sure. One that we've been waiting for a long time. We had to skip last year. But the follow-up, the sequel to the 2018 reboot / sequel of Halloween. We are reviewing Halloween Kills, directed by David Gordon Green and written by, of course, Danny McBride.
Yes, of course.
Love Danny McBride. Mason, this was a film I was 50% nervous for, 50% excited for, because I'm a huge Halloween fan.
I would have to agree with that, especially being that it's the second one in the new series, we'll say, the sequel to the new installment in 2018. I was worried.
Well,
and we watched the trailer for this, and we saw a lot of slashing. And typically when you see a lot of slashing, you don't see a lot of story.
Right. And we know that we know what horror sequels are. I mean, we
Cash
know
grabs, typically.
Well, we know from past. I mean, we know from past cinema that are horror sequels ever good?
No.
I
can't think of one that's...
I don't know if there's ever been a follow-up sequel that's been, horror-wise, has been better than the first one.
No. Yeah.
I mean, it runs true with Halloween and then Halloween 2, who was just a step down. But like you said about this being a straight-up slasher, is that's exactly what Halloween 2 did as well. It
just went full-on slasher. Yeah.
Full-on slasher. Halloween 2, of course, gave us the plot line that Laurie Strode was related to Michael. They threw that in, and of course, that is no longer canon.
That is no longer canon. That is taken out.
They are not related at all, but there is a lot of, like, homages to Halloween 2 in this one, for sure. Like, they were definitely, definitely tipping their cap at some points, for sure. Especially with it being set largely in a hospital. If you've seen the original Halloween 2, it's set in a hospital for most of the part. Laurie Strode's in the hospital a long time. But, yeah, Mason, where the first one went kind of half and half on both, it started out that slow. We didn't get a lot of kills in the remake I'm talking about. And in the original, it was only like 4 deaths, very little blood. But in the first Halloween, 2018 one, they did a combination of both. It turned into a slasher at the end for sure. This one, they said, fuck it.
Full-blown slasher.
Full-blown. How many people died in this? 50?
So many. I think it actually broke a record for a slasher film for how many people died in this. An unnecessary.
The population of Haddonfield at this point is dwindling.
Oh, you can
very
say that.
fast. They're going to need to be shipping families in at this point to repopulate this place.
Not only that, but you're going to get a lot of psychiatrists out there because a lot of people are pretty shook. I mean, you got the serial killer who is decapitating children. He is smashing people's foreheads in and using some as like a pin the donkey, with butcher knives.
Not even this, but the townsfolk have gone off the deep end. It's mob mentality at its finest. They are killing innocent people. This is the problem about this one is it's at some points it was unintentionally comical.
Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. And I was thinking, oh, this is kind of cringe.
It's Michael's master plan. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's just sitting in his house doing nothing while the town is just staring at him.
He's just killing one person at a time.
He's got no idea what's happening. It's not a master plan.
Master planning. He's like sitting there with his cat, like Dr. Evil.
Yeah, I mean,
no. It's not his master plan.
Yeah, it's not like we found a journal and he was like, okay, step 3, make the city people go nuts.
Start killing innocent people.
It wasn't his plan at all. So that's, for sure, like you said, is they sacrificed the bit of the writing for the slashing.
Yeah, no, you could definitely say that. And as you brought up, they were unintentionally comical.
Yeah.
Where it got to a point for me, especially towards the third act, where it was so unbelievably frustrating that they had to have been doing it on purpose.
I felt exactly the same. It felt like the entire population of Haddonfield shared one brain cell.
Yes.
Like they were doing. And at one point, you're almost to the point where Michael Myers almost becomes the protagonist. To where you're like, yeah, you gotta kill these people. They're so stupid.
They're so dumb.
So
you gotta. He's a eugenics. You know, he wants the best of the best around, and that's what Michael Myers did.
And that's what slashers are, which people don't categorize the 1978 Halloween as a slasher. You know, it's much more, I don't want to say thought-provoking, but again, there's not a lot of blood. And slashers, most of the time, you're rooting for the villain because the characters are so abysmal. They're so unlikable. You end up rooting for Freddy or you end up rooting for Jason. In the first Halloween, you really enjoyed the characters. You enjoy Laurie Strode because she felt very real. She's not annoying at all. You're not rooting for her death. But in this one, I felt a lot more. I was rooting for the townspeople to get butchered because of, again, the stupidity. I mean, that hospital scene, you had doctors throwing people down, stomping on people.
You're like, what in the hell is going on here?
I know.
What?
Of all the people to have some kind of rationale, the doctors are the first to be like, let's fucking kill this guy.
No evidence. Here's the thing, too, that's so frustrating. That guy, again, it had to have been
5'3".
Yes. The physicality of him.
I know,
he looked like the fucking Penguin from Batman. Like, obviously, that's not Michael Myers, 6'7", 280
slow, skinny,
pounds.
kind of a beanpole. Yeah. This guy is, like you said, penguin body-esque.
Yeah, very penguin.
Waddling around.
Yeah, waddling. Clearly not healthy. Clearly not mentally well.
Not only that, but Michael Myers, he takes 3 steps and he's on the other side of the room.
Yes.
This guy had to take 84 steps to walk down a hallway because he's shuffling like this.
Here's the thing. You've seen Michael Myers a million times, and tons of people have. Michael Myers doesn't have long hair either. You know, you're not seeing it outside of his mask. So there are so many things where I was like,
imagine that
what
guy
the hell
trying
is going on?
Pull that mask down over his fat head. Yeah, it was supposed to be like they're so scared at this point that like
it didn't work.
So fucking
it
scared.
Did not work for me at all.
It's like there's just it's like they have to at this point they've gone to the brink, you know, where they're like it's the whole mob mentality, group think and whatnot. But yeah, the hospital scenes just did not work for me at all. I thought it was really cool that like. Obviously, we got to talk about is they get the characters from the movies, from the first movie back. Yes. I mean, cool. All the kids that she babysat, other townsfolk are there. But there's just not enough for them to do in the film. No. You know, they're dying off left and right.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of them die pretty quick, too.
Exactly, but it's to a point where it's like they almost like these are all characters that have interacted with Michael. So they're probably the same mindset of like, this guy's going to come back. I got to be prepared. They were not prepared at all.
Well, the one guy just grabbed the bat off the bar.
That was another unintentionally funny scene for me was the bartender gives this big, long story about the bat. Like, it was my dad's bat, you know, and it's big,
like grandpa's bat
old Huckleberry.
Yeah.
And then Tommy just goes, thanks.
I'm going to take that and go try to kill someone with it.
And then the bat's gone for half the scene. He's like, this old family heirloom Tommy just totally stole. But everyone's got fucking baseball bats in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I forget Big John and Little John. We got to talk about them, okay? Because one of the guys, I forget his name, but he was on Mad TV.
Stewart, of course. Stewart,
yeah, for so long. Yeah. And I remember growing up and watching Mad TV and watching him. He was my favorite guy. Him and Bobby Lee were my favorite two on Mad TV back then. And I saw him and I instantly smiled because I haven't seen him in a very long time. So it was nice to see him.
I want to say he like
I think it's Michael McDonald.
It is Michael McDonald. I want to say he like always does stuff with David Gordon Green or something, but yeah, that was kind of he gets killed off screen, unfortunately though.
Yeah, I know that was.
If I'm in a horror movie, I definitely want to be. But let's say Big John had a great death.
Well, dude, the way they, I know, but you saw like it like mush, like it looked like. It looked like, what's the word? Like just meat, like coming out of his eyes, like just
or like Play-Doh when you like squeeze the Play-Doh and it comes out the sides.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I was like, geez, dude.
That's one thing I do appreciate about these newer Halloween films is where scenes where you know it would cut away the camera because you know in most movies, right when he gets his eyes,
oh yeah,
camera's cutting away.
Not this.
They don't cut away in this movie at all. One of my favorite deaths, which I have to make clear that this is better than most horror sequels. It's just not nearly as good as the 2018 version.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a higher up. It's definitely not just a cash grab.
Well, it's not like Mortal Kombat 2.
Right.
Or, and that's not really horror.
They
so
definitely care. It just seems like maybe they're stretching a series that only needed to be 2 films into 3 films.
Is there going to be a third? Have they confirmed that?
Halloween Ends.
Sure? Okay.
They filmed it back to back.
Yeah, that's.
I just don't.
The thing for me
the
is
second one really felt like a buffer one, an in between.
I know, and I didn't. If I'm being honest, I didn't love it.
I didn't
love it. I did not love the ending either. I did not love how stupid people were. I mean, and I keep going back to it, but I'm just going to bring up specific scenes, right? Let's cut to the third act. You got the daughter, Karen. Do it, just do it, and then she stabs him with the pitchfork.
Well, you got to think he's
kicks his head.
Kicks his head.
But here's the thing: it's Michael Myers. If I'm trying to kill Michael Myers, I am decapitating. I don't care if it's barbaric. I don't care if it's savage. I am making sure this motherfucker is dead.
At this point, remember, they've only killed him once. So they haven't killed him 8 times throughout this Halloween series. Like,
yeah,
so
I guess so.
At this point, he's only died. Not even died, but he got shot the first time a few times, and then he lived 40 years after that. So he's not coming back 8 times at this point where it's like, we got to burn this fucker.
I guess they do have more, or I have more context than they do.
Yeah, exactly. You got to remember, they're not thinking this guy is a walking zombie. At this point, they do believe he is human. So you stab a guy with a pitchfork and then curb stomp him, and you hear a big snap. You're thinking, unless he's putting his head back on. But yeah, I mean, at one point, you do have to just... But you don't want to stick around his body long enough for him to gain consciousness because he always gets the upper hand. He'll grab an ankle or something, an ankle lock.
Yeah, an ankle lock, and that's not good.
You're gonna get. You don't want to grapple with him.
No,
you don't want to grapple with him.
It's much too strong. much too strong. Also, the ending for me was so disappointing. You know, you get the townspeople surrounding him. They're all, and honestly, I like that scene.
I love how it was shot.
Yeah, how it was shot was cool.
I really liked that a lot.
And I liked, the townspeople all kind of getting their revenge. But the thing is they stopped so soon. Like, no one actually even, like, they stabbed the guy one time. They shot him 2 or 3 times. This guy's standing around with a shotgun. Doesn't take a single shot.
Well, she stabs him what looked like the back of the neck, too. Yeah. Again.
But again,
at the very end, yeah.
Again, this guy with the shotgun doesn't take a single round. If I got the shotgun, I know it's grotesque and awful, but it's Michael Myers. I got to kill this guy. I put that right to the back of his head when he's laying there, and I pull the trigger. You make sure he's dead.
You got to... Here's the thing with the angry mob mentality. Is you got to just do enough to where it's not awkward because you still got to live with these people. So if you come in and like you come in and you're the guy like sawing his head off and everyone else is
they're going to remember that.
Like maybe we have a new Michael Myers in town. Like what are we doing? Are we just creating another monster? So I get where you're coming from, but you also got to be like, hey, I got to live with these people for the next, 20 years. So if I'm in there blasting a shotgun after this guy had been shot 4 times and stabbed him, like even this is like, oh my god, like, that's Terry, take it easy, you're scaring us. Yeah,
might be a little overkill, but
because at this point he had been shot, he'd been stabbed.
Yeah.
In my logical, not my Michael Myers brain, I'm thinking this guy is done. Okay, and if not, I'm moving out of that fucking town as soon as I see him get up. The only problem I had at the very end is it went from there being like 30 people jumping him, to like once he kills those people, there's like 5 people. Where'd they all go? All right, guys.
All right, time to go to bed.
Done here, we
time to hit the showers. We gotta call it. Hands.
So that was my problem at the end is, it seemed like he would have had to kill 40 people to get out of there.
Right.
And he kills, 4 or 5?
Well, he kills all the main characters, too.
Yeah.
I mean, from the actual film, all the...
Well, it was only, at that point, only Tommy was left.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy kind of shit the bed with the whole hospital scene, too. Let's talk about that real quick. Well, I know we're jumping around, but that's what we do. So, the mentally ill patient that was with Michael Myers that escaped in the bus that crashed.
So, we got to go at the very start, remember, Lori gets stabbed at the last one, and she's going to the hospital. That's why. And then on her way, firefighters are coming. She's yelling, "Let it burn!" Of course, greatest firefighters of our time. No one burns on their watch.
No.
Even if you are a serial killer, they're saving your ass.
Of course.
But so that's why almost a lot of it is taking place in the hospital, is because she was stabbed. And for some reason, everyone in the town goes to the hospital.
Yeah, literally everyone.
Like,
I
this
don't
is the
understand
only
why.
place that's safe is this hospital. So this hospital is fucking packed.
It's it's completely whatever, populated.
For sure. And then Tommy goes there, and once Tommy enters the hospital,
Chaos ensues.
it's chaos. He's not helping at all.
Evil dies tonight.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting the angry mob even angrier. Then, unfortunately, they see a mentally ill
And I don't even know why the
patient.
mentally ill patient was there.
Because he wanted help. Remember, he was like,
He
shuffling around.
He
He's
fucking
like, help.
destroyed the car, which I thought that was a really cool kind of tense scene. Is when the doctor couple, she was the doctor and he was a nurse. They're like, he's in the car. Any time where the townspeople start like standing up and be like, okay, let's fucking do this. It's a cool scene. Yeah. John Carpenter, the score is great. He's always laying down the tracks, but it ends up not even being Michael Myers.
It's kind of a nice curveball to have, though. You know?
Exactly. I didn't mind that.
That kind of got the townspeople like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Michael Myers is back. Come to find out it wasn't. But
Exactly.
I mean, Michael Myers was there, so it actually worked.
Well, the entire time I'm thinking is, because right at the start, they say there's 2 unaccounted for mental patients still. So I'm guessing they're counting Michael plus that guy. Because I was thinking there's one other guy wandering around.
No. It was Michael.
How the fuck did that guy get even to the town that Michael was at?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because don't forget, Michael had to steal a car and drive from the hospital to have
Maybe that's why he needs some help. He's a little hungry, maybe a little dehydrated. He's been walking for a week.
This guy is severely, he is very sick. He just wants help, and the townspeople are gonna kill this man.
We got to talk about the jump scene, though, because the jump scene was wild.
You know, that guy, the actor who played that guy passed away before this movie came out.
No way, really?
Yeah, he was in both of them, the first and second one, obviously. But
Damn, that's sad.
I know, he passed away for... Yeah, and had it came out last year when it was supposed to, he probably would have saw it too. But yeah, the jump scene.
It was great.
Brutal.
And, dude, they showed the body and everything, and it's mashed up to pieces.
Oh,
I mean, it was out of control.
he pancaked for sure. It was brutal because, again, the camera lingers on every death, so you can even see him, even though he was all smashed up, his mouth was still moving.
Yep.
It was a great
Yeah, it was
animatronic
tweaking
or
whatever. Yeah.
But my favorite death has to be, if we're talking about deaths, I'm going to say it has to be the old couple.
What's that guy's name? I've seen him in a lot of shit.
I don't know his name. He's in a lot of stuff. But that death where he kills the old lady, with the light.
The light.
They showed that in the trailer, so I knew it was coming. But when she is bleeding out, watching her husband get fucking pinata'd with those knives, that may be the most brutal Michael Myers death in all of the films.
It's pretty brutal.
He was just going knife after...
Yeah. You know what other one was pretty brutal?
Holy shit, man.
And as far as the film, you might not like it. That's fine. A lot of people didn't like it. But the Rob Zombie scene sticks with me. The nurse, where he's just stabbing.
Yeah.
Stabbing. And stab. And, of course, it's Rob Zombie, so it's like a fucking 2-minute scene
I know,
of just Michael Myers stabbing this body over and over. I think that and this one are probably my 2, where it's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ. Well, he stuck in with every knife they had.
Yeah. Oh, except for the butcher knife.
Well, of course, he's got to keep that one. Yeah.
This is they should make a town rule. You just can't have butcher knives in that town. Have any other knife, but do not have the butcher knife.
Have a samurai sword.
Katana?
Katanas?
Of course they're
They
allowed.
cut bread just the same.
Although I don't want to see Michael Myers with a katana.
No, that's even more scary.
He'll be slaying people.
That would be a cool, like, Elseworlds. Give Michael Myers a katana.
Or send him back to samurai times. He'll just be
He'll just be a warrior then.
Oh,
and then
my God. He'd be a
not
greatest
gonna get in
warrior of
trouble.
all time now. But yeah, I really like that death of the old people. That was fucking brutal. Especially when she's just bleeding out, kind of watching.
Watching it happen, yeah.
The whole time, man.
Which, I mean, tough broad, because you get stabbed with a light like that. I don't know too many people who would be up and awake.
Well, it wasn't like she was up doing jumping jacks.
No,
She was,
but even conscious. Let me say, yeah,
I
she
would
was
say
watching.
she was fading in and out for sure. Yeah, I don't know how much emotion she was feeling watching that, but he did place her in a way where she did have to fucking watch that,
it.
which is
Unfortunately,
brutal for sure. But yeah,
let's talk about this because I've never actually seen as much of it in my life. As far as Halloween films, where we got a lot of like side face, we got to see Michael
For
Myers,
sure,
kind of
yeah.
his eyes, kind of his figure.
destroyed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think because of the
He's
fire
wrecked.
and whatnot too. But what did you think about that? Like being able to see him kind of in form.
It doesn't matter to me. I think how they did it is perfect. I don't need a full frontal face because it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter at all. I mean, you're not going to have like a recognizable face under there. So you're like, you see it and you're like, oh, that's what's his name, a famous actor or anything. And I'm in the class that Michael Myers is, the mask is his face. If he embodies pure evil, he puts this mask on because he believes it's making him human. It's like if he thinks he puts his mask on, he thinks he looks like everyone else and whatnot. His face can be completely blank because he's the embodiment of evil. So it doesn't matter what he looks like at all. So I don't care if you take the mask on or off. The mask is his face. And when he takes the mask off he is lost without it.
Oh, every time.
I really do enjoy that. That like if once you tear that mask off, it's like he's walking around without a face. He needs it on. He can't function without it. So I don't care, but I like how they did it. They just showed side profiles. There's one maybe, but it was in that the lighting of the scene was kind of odd because it was the cars that were lining up, so the lighting was off. So you could never see a clear picture, but the parts you saw, he looked fucking mangled.
And that's what I liked. See,
Yeah.
he
got a droopy eye and some shit. Like, it's been rough for him.
It's one of those things where I want to see his face so badly, but I don't. I also don't either. And so I got that perfect blend in this film where I would see a side profile and I'd kind of look hard, even though I don't want to see, but I kind of want to see.
Because the reveal will never live up.
No, never.
What under there do you think you're going to see to where you'll be like, yes,
That's
finally.
what he looks like.
Unless he's like a complete alien under there. I mean, like, no matter what.
But that's what it would have to be.
End of the day,
in my opinion.
is just a man. And that's what you're going to see under there.
I don't know. He might be superhuman.
Well, he's a man with a little extra.
Yeah, this guy, he's got a great.
Well, he's a man with a
feeling
goal, and a man with a goal can be
Dangerous.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I like how they did that, and I like how she had to draw him out because, again, I don't think I hated this film as much as critics disliked it. I'm definitely probably somewhere in between the user and the critics' review of this.
So right around 50% then, because the critics was about 30 and audience score is 74.
Yeah, I think I'd be higher than that. I'd probably be 60s to 70s on this for sure.
I would be probably 50s or 60s. I had a lot of problems with this one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you just don't get enough time with the characters to really care about their deaths enough. And like you said, it was definitely cool. If you're a Halloween fan, it's fucking cool to see all these young kids come up and know that they grew up kind of worshiping Laurie Strode. They meet every year at this bar and salute her and pour a drink for her. That, I think, is kind of cool to know that they've been doing that for 40 years and to know that she's not the only one that's completely scarred by this. Everyone was touched by Michael Myers.
Yeah, everyone in that community and the kids who survived were completely impacted, and it changed their life forever.
And in the first one, I like because you got a lot of that from Laurie, but now you know that Laurie's not alone. Laurie thinks she's alone. She thinks that she's the only one that was impacted by this that much, but you find out that everyone's living with this. And they go through flashbacks too. I thought they did a good job with the flashbacks.
That's what I want to talk about. The callbacks to the original, I absolutely loved. My favorite one that they had, and this one's really subtle, but for me, it just worked so well because it brought me back to the beginning moments of Halloween in 1978. And that was when Karen, which is Laurie Strode's daughter, is at Michael Myers' house, and she looks up in the window, and just for a split second, you can see Michael Myers as a child in the clown outfit that he wore.
Staring at the window, just like they said. Yeah, I like that a lot.
That a lot.
the whole going back to the cop shooting his partner thing, it was all right, but I really liked the Dr. Loomis scenes when they brought Dr. Loomis back.
How did they do that so well?
Did he kill again? Did he kill again? I love that. Because if you know Dr. Loomis, he fucking lost his mind by the end of that film. He was going around shooting anything that moved. But I love that. Just the obsession of Dr. Loomis.
How did they bring him back?
CGI, baby. It has to be.
But that looks so good.
I know.
It looks so good, dude. I couldn't even, like, I was trying to be like, what?
Yeah.
Come on, this is...
Well, even the whole thing was shot digitally and it was added After Effects to make it look like it was shot in 1978, you know? So, yeah, I think that, I think they just digitally put him in there.
Wow. They did a great job.
Donald Pleasance, yeah. It was... That's one thing, too, is you don't get the crazy doctor in this one like you do in all the other Halloweens. Like, they brought back the crazy doctor, even the new one. Remember, he ended up betraying everyone. Right. Bastard.
Dickhead.
But there's no crazy...
He got his due, though.
Because the entire townspeople are the crazy doctors in this one.
They are. And the crazy doctors in the hospital are pushing
the literal
over.
Doctors. Everyone's Dr. Loomis in this. Because they are going...
Insane.
Absolutely mad. But should we end? Let's end with talking about the beginning. Let's talk about the firefighter scene.
Okay, so
these
might have
pussy ass firefighters.
Know,
come on!
I gotta say, for how many problems I had with the film, the fucking death scenes were awesome. I thought the way this was shot, the way the deaths, how gruesome they were.
I didn't have a problem with a single death in this film.
No.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. It was beautifully shot. The problem I had was with the characters. We never got enough time with the characters. But the deaths I felt were very Michael-esque. You know, they weren't really Jason where they were getting too fucking elaborate. It's Michael Myers, so it's the quickest way to kill you is his way to go. You know, with those firefighters, I love the guy.
The axe pick.
There was one intentionally funny scene. It had to be of the guy who sprays him with the hose. So, that would be me. Shh, I'll get him. It's so stupid.
Well, here's the thing, I know what they were trying to do there, insinuating that and showing the audience that Michael Myers is so strong that he could just walk through it. But those fire hoses, come on, folks. Have you ever seen a fire hose? They're a lot stronger than that.
They take your skin off. Yeah,
a lot stronger than that.
But that guy just trying to fucking spray.
I know.
And also, it's like whatever you have in your hand, you're going to use against him. So if you got a hose in your hand, you're going to fucking use the hose. But
I really did like that pickaxe scene when the guy falls through and he just takes a pickaxe and just hits him in the face like 3 times.
Yeah.
His
when it goes first person
yeah,
and you see the pickaxe go through the mask like you're wearing the mask, it's super well done. And the guy with the saw blade too.
Yeah.
Well, who lasted all of 2 seconds.
I know. It picks him up.
Oh, that's so fucking cool.
Because you see how strong Michael Myers is. Oh, I mean, we've always known because we watched the films for 40 years.
And that's a callback to Halloween 2, which is it's so much more better in this one. In Halloween 2, he stabs him with a scalpel, little tiny scalpel, right? And picks him up with that one-handed. It's just not working. He can't do it. Physically, it's impossible.
Yeah, he did that in the original, too, where he pinned the boy to the wall.
With the butcher knife. Even that is more plausible than the scalpel thing. Yeah. But in this one, he picks someone up with the peckaxe, and it looks fucking awesome. It was
pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's pretty metal.
Yeah, it was. For sure. But that's, yeah, that was the opening scene is he takes out like 6 fucking firefighters. Like they're nothing, man.
Yeah. And, R.I.P. They were just trying to do their job, save some people from burning houses. And
it is a good opening scene.
Oh, it's the best.
I
loved it.
The more I think about it, when he's reaching his hand down, come on, and as soon as you see that it's Michael Myers' hand and the music starts playing, and then he comes out of the house slow motion with the water coming down. I mean, it was
and part of his mask burnt.
Oh, fucked up.
Yeah.
That mask has to be so fucking nasty at this point.
Oh god.
Not only that, but 40
grossness.
years of those shitty Halloween masks, it'd be decaying. Like, those things don't hold up very long.
No. I mean, for him, they did, but not for too many people.
But, yeah, overall, you know, it's not the follow-up that I was hoping for. Disappointing a little bit.
I agree with that.
But it's not like one of those to where it's most horror films, sequels I would see, and I'd be like, oh, I'll never see that again. Like Freddy 2 or The New Nightmare or Jason 2 or whatever. Any of those are... You know, you'll never watch again. But I feel like I could watch this again maybe when Halloween comes around. Especially if the third one needs to come up strong. I mean, the third one's got to end big.
But I think the third one absolutely needs to be released next year. I don't want to wait another 2.5, 3 years. I understand the circumstances, blah, 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 blah.
Well, this one, I believe they filmed back-to-back. They did not film the first and second one back-to-back. But, yeah, because it's killing. Even though releasing simultaneously with Peacock, it's killing at the box office right now. Pun intended.
Wait, yeah, right. Budget for this film, $20 million. Just this opening weekend made $55.8 million at the box office.
Which... I've been reading about it because it's kind of an amazing thing. It's overshooting its projection.
Yeah.
It's normal. And this is crazy. This is like the third week in a row that there's been a movie with 50+ million at the box office.
Wow. People want their movies, man. They want to go back to the theaters.
I think the record is like 4 in a row. So if Dune comes out next week and has...
Which it will.
Makes 50 million.
If it doesn't make 50 million open weekend, they're fucked.
Yeah. But if it comes out next week and makes 50 million, that'll be 4 movies in a row. And I think that ties for the record of which, because normally you have blockbusters spaced out weeks. Mm-hmm. So we're in a crazy time where we could have 4 movies, 50 million each, which is...
Dune should hit that, no problem. I'd be really shocked if it didn't hit 100 million.
But I'm really happy that Halloween Kills did make 50 million because that means for sure that we're going to get that third movie, no doubt. I mean, 50 million opening box office.
Yeah, by the end of it, it'll at least make 100 million, and then that's 5 times your investment.
It beat out A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place 2 only made 45 million opening box office.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and Quiet Place 2 did not simultaneously go on streaming either.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm happy that this film did do well though. Yeah. That's all I got for it.
Yep. Same here.
Streaming on Peacock.
Yeah, streaming on Peacock was awesome for me because I was busy this weekend, and I was like, "How am I going to go?"
Exactly.
Like, cool. Peacock. It's on Peacock. Weird, but I like it.
Is this the only film that's ever going to be streaming on Peacock?
I think it was a one and done. Somehow they signed it, but I'm very happy it was streaming. It actually ended up working out really well for me,
sure.
So.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, well, that is our review for Halloween Kills. If you guys like what you're seeing here, please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.